Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Monday. That is all she wrote for season 20. We made it to the end. What was this? 19 episodes or something like that. Last season was like 24 or 25, so it's definitely not the longest sister wives season. And honestly, part 2 of the tell all was definitely the juiciest. My overall thoughts, I will continue to watch Cody and Mary be forced to interact with each other. Honestly, why not? I think both of them would be down to. They both fucking hate each other and they both have tea to spill on each other. And bonus points, you wouldn't have to involve any of the kids. It would just be them rehashing like the early years of polygamy. I would totally watch that. Christine and Janelle, I mean, wow. Wow. If my overall thoughts, if Cody and Robin's intention was to cast Janelle as a villain and in order to take the heat off themselves, I mean, mission accomplished. This tell-all was certainly not her finest 4 hours, and what a fall from grace she has had in the court of public opinion. Let me just play the countdown. I didn't clip a fun clip for an intro, but we'll play a countdown and then we'll jump into the episode. You know, I was kind of disappointed to see in this tell all, like David, Christine, and Cody, like totally walking back previous statements they had made about wanting to be able to get the family all together. Obviously, in real life, these people have no intention of like being in each other's lives, and like this family is so dysfunctional. That's fine. And honestly, like I had several people comment like this did feel like it could be a series finale. We know it's not because McKelty has confirmed there is going to be a season 21. I see all the comments saying, like, what the fuck else is there left to say? If it's just gonna go on business as usual, what is there left to say? And I agree. Like the property is sold. I am completely here to have Mary and Jen like just airing out all of Cody's dirty ass laundry. I think that that would be hysterical. Obviously, Jen gets under this dude's skin. Bonus points that Jen is not a new friend. She's been around since Vegas. Janelle, what the actual fuck? We will touch on this. You guys will have to let me know. Like who do we believe? Not that it really matters, but I just thought it was so odd that Janelle thought it was thought to end her quote professional relationship with her bug person because her bug person had become friends with her sister wife and had told her to take the money and run. To me, and I think the issue with the entire family, with Mary leaving, especially at this time, because this is when Mary was like really in the throes of making stupid money with LuLaRoe. I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember that Lula Rich documentary. People at the top of the pyramid And Mary was at the top. I mean, she still is at the top of the pyramid. She still sells LuLaRoe. But at that time, some people were making like $1 million a month. Mary definitely could have been making that much money. And so it wasn't offensive to any of these people that Jen would suggest Mary leave. What was offensive to these people is that Jen said, take your money and head for the hills. In my opinion, that was the thing that just cut too deep. Like, how dare Jen suggest that Mary not funnel all of her money to support nobody she's biologically related to anymore? So I said that when Kody was having his shouting attack about Mary's affair, that Suki should have snapped back and said, settle down, Johnny Appleseed. That would have been funny. And that would have showed that, because first of all, Kody has no idea what that would be in reference to. That would have shown that Suki watches the show. I saw Suki's interview with Sarah Fraser, and Suki says that she watches a show and she takes notes, but then, like, not knowing that Mary's dark time in Vegas was obviously the catfish, like, are you playing coy? Are you wanting them to spell it out for you? Like what? There's frustrating moments where it's like, if you know, you know, you know. So, okay, let me bring up my notes here. I have a ton of notes. Again, I think episode 2 of the one-on-one tells was the most illuminating as far as, I think, for the audience. And I wonder if they'll do like, I know last season they sent out a survey to some people. I saw it talked about on the Shit Talk podcast with Ace and Caitlin. Like, people received surveys like, what do you want to see on Sister Wives? And one of the things was like Mary dating some guy named Ron. And like, we saw that this past season. So I'm wondering if another survey goes out, what the options will be. But I think a lot of the feedback that they're going to get, and part of why episode 2 of the tell-all was so fascinating, is because we really started to dive into the finances. The finances in this family are so totally fucked, and they have been for so long, and there's no way Kody and Robin can like tell you to squint with one eye and not look out of the other and tell you that 2 + 2 = 12. Like, everyone's gonna be doing the math, and it's not going to work out. And people are here for that. Now that this family has fallen apart, most of the kids are adults. I will say, on the Sarah Fraser podcast, Suki said that we were going to they were going to talk about the kids. Did I miss that? Because I don't recall ever talking about the kids in any of these episodes. Kody did say the word verboten again, but it wasn't it wasn't in reference to his children. It was in reference to Jen. So I am very disappointed that we didn't talk about the kids at all. Because obviously, like, Kody is a father of 18. Like, how is that not a central? And this whole show was built on him being a father of 18. He has 17 living children, and he doesn't have relationships with 90% of them. Because honestly, I don't know how good of a relationship he has with Robin's 3 oldest. We see him out and about. I've seen like paparazzi pictures of him getting gas, and he has like Ari in the car and stuff. Brianna, Aurora, they were like barely on this season. I think Brianna was only on to like carry a picnic table. Aurora let us meet her boyfriend, which was nice of her, throwing her parents a bone to give them a storyline. But I don't know how much Kody has to do with them. How much does Kody have to do with Dayton? Suki said in the interview the talking about the kids was offline. Got it. Okay. I misunderstood that. They did bring up the kids for a brief fleeting moment only when of course it's convenient for Kody to remember that he has 18 children. Right. Like and I know I think around the time this was filmed, I think he was getting into settlement discussions with Christine with her lawsuit. That had to have coincided with this. Maybe not exactly, but had to be around the same time. So I could see them not bringing up Truly, but honestly, like you still have a minor child with Christine, and Kody still fucking hates Christine, man. If I was Robin, honestly, it would bother me how much Kody hates Christine because you have to love someone in order to hate them that much. Like Cody's indifference towards Mary is what happens when you just don't have any feelings towards someone. Mary could literally probably get hit by a car and Kody wouldn't care. That's sad to say, but I think that that's true. Um, the amount of vitriol he carries still for Christine, it's like, bro, methinks you doth protest too much. She continues to live rent free in his head, and I think Christine knew that the sickest burn, the way to really stick it to Kody is to one, involve the law. You know how they hate involving the government. Remember when Kody tried to tell Christine like the government would come in and like kidnap Truly if Christine like divorced him because that's what the government does in divorce. Now I think Chrissy knew like forcing Kody to have to answer to the government for fathering a child when he was never legally married to that mother. That's some shit. That's some shit. All right. Kody is telling Suki that every phone call with Mary doesn't go well. Kody says he gets tired of Jen trash talking him because Jen doesn't know him and he only knows whatever Mary's told her. And it's like, okay, do I think I know everything about Kody? No. But do I get a good grasp based off of like all that he has shared on reality TV? Yeah. Plus, McKelty, it was either McKelty or Gwen that said everybody is like a exaggerated, like Kody is like worse in real life than what we see on the show. Like they give him a kind edit on the show. Maybe not anymore, but historically they did. I guess Kody says he had told Mary that Jen's not safe and he has assigned Jen partial culpability for their breakup. But then he kind of backtracks that and says, like, they were definitely breaking up anyways, but like he didn't appreciate that Jen told her to leave him. The big question is, does Kody accept the fact that he was the reason for Mary's dark time? And I think the chances are 0 on that. And this is when Suki was like, what dark time are we talking about? And it's like, duh, the catfish. Kody is like, it sucks to suck, Mary. Sorry for your dark time in Vegas. It wasn't my fault, but I guess I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. Like, that was the closest to an apology Mary got for the dark time in Vegas. And then we get a bunch of like he said, she said about Oh my God. How maddening would it be to be in a polygamous marriage? I I was thinking while I was watching this episode, like, this just sounds like straight up not a good time because first of all, just cut to the chase with me. Like, just give me, I don't need, like, you go and find a recipe online. I don't want the 3 pages of like whose grandmother's recipe you adapted this recipe. I don't care about it. Give me the recipe. That's what I want. But in this family, the way information ends up with people is shockingly frustrating. It's like this family has to do everything the hardest way possible. Kody says he would go to Robin when he was struggling with Mary, and I guess Robin was pregnant with Ari at the time, and she was like, "Kody, I'm like creating life here, so I don't have time for your bullshit." And I immediately thought, okay, so she's growing a kid, but she's also catfishing Mary. So she's booked and busy. I fully believe Robin was in cahoots with Kendra, and Kendra like I no longer I mean I do believe in Occam's razor for like most things, but I think there are such bad actors these days that rely on people. Like I was just watching the au pair affair trial and the verdict just came in. And that guy was so diabolical. He was banking on the fact that people would be like, come on. Like, what are the chances? Like, they did all of that. That would have to be so elaborate. And the Karen Reed trial, that would have to be so elaborate. And I see people when we're arguing like against Robin being the catfish. I don't think Robin was 100% the catfish, but some people are that diabolical. And I think Robin is fully capable of that level of evil. So that's just my opinion. Because for me, how does Kendra get on? I think she was like on Twitter or something, and she's like telling Mary she knows that this Sam Cooper is a real person. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's just a straight up lie. And then Kendra is telling Robin shit. Robin's telling her shit. It's getting back to the catfish. It's a little bit murky. It kind of seemed like at some points Robin may have been talking to the catfish directly. I don't know. Mary was telling Robin stuff and it was getting back to the catfish. That's weird. Insert that Cardi B meme. Kody says that Robin was the witness to his suffering. There is nothing these two love more than to suffer in front of each other. Like nothing gets these two hornier than like having like a victim off. Like, oh, my day was bad. No, my day. Oh my God, my day was so bad. Suki wants to know if Mary ever apologized for what happened in Vegas. And Kody says he doesn't remember if she did. And Suki made me laugh. She's like, how do you not remember something like that? Because if it doesn't like 100%, if it's not 100% about Kody is not clocking it. What is that, Justin Bieber? Like, are you not clocking this? Are you not clocking this? I'm standing on business. Mary says that she has apologized for, I guess, her participation in the catfish of it all. And you guys, and I might be rethinking my stance. I have said for years, part of what I couldn't get there with Mary for a long time because I felt she has been deflecting accountability for this whole calling it a catfish, not calling it an emotional affair. I'll get anytime I make a video talking about the catfish situation and how I think Mary had an emotional affair, I get tons of comments of people telling me, no, she didn't have an emotional affair. Plus, Cody has been sleeping with other women this whole time. Now, if I'm like fully invested into into the conspiracy theory, if Mary was lured and baited and trapped and then blackmailed, because it didn't come out in this tell all, but Mary has said that basically the catfish was like making her do stuff or else he was gonna like out her to the world. I think she said like certain voicemails she left him were like basically coerced. So I don't know. I might have to start rethinking like how much culpability do I assign Mary if I feel like she was totally like her mind was totally incepted. All of this was a fantasy created. Um Can Jen exist without trash talking Cody? Let's see if Jen can be funny without trash talking Cody. Yeah, she can. But in this instance, we get to rewatch Bitch Lessons with Jen. I found this funny. Somehow it's no big deal for Cody to say jack shit 127 times in 30 seconds, but then he draws the line at saying bitch. Like he's like, the B word. And Suki's like, you can say that. Cody says Mary has always had her voice, that she's always tried to push Cody around. I think two things are true here, and you guys let me know what you think. I think Mary had no problem being the head bitch in charge in those early years, throwing her weight around, flaunting her romance with Cody, bitching about towels or dishes or whatever, insisting on a wet bar, whatever. I think she had no problem with that. And I think that she had no problem like voicing her opinion and fighting Scrappy. When the catfish happened, when the legal divorce happened, when it was clear that she had lost all favor in Cody's eyes, when she was trying to earn her way back into his good graces, she really did lose her voice. And I think she was bullied into compliance, like passive aggressively bullied. Mary says she likes being friends with Jen, and this made me really sad because with Jen, she doesn't get punished for having thoughts. I really hate how, like, Christine has talked about it, Mary has talked about it, how if they behaved a certain way, if they said a certain thing, they would, quote, get in trouble. I don't think an adult person with autonomy and their own agency should ever get in trouble with another human being. Because the person getting you in trouble is therefore like elevated into some sort of power position. That, like, to me, that like automatically denotes you are below them, because at school, who gets in trouble? The students aren't getting the teacher in trouble. No, the teacher is disciplining the students. So to me, it's like saying you're beneath me. You're in trouble with me. I'm not. Has Cody ever been in trouble with any of these women? I don't think so. Christine just said she doesn't think Cody likes strong women. Cody needs a yes person, and that's not Jen. I love the subtle shade there because you know Robin's gonna watch that back and be like, "You bitch." Jen says she's an outspoken person, and Kody seems to have conveniently forgotten how much time she's actually spent around him. And she tells Suki, I think it was such a great idea to have Jen join Mary. I think that is fully accounting for why Mary was so talkative and chatty about things that I think she probably wouldn't have talked about in the past. Jen says she's seen the real Kody shine through, and he's done and said things that really are not okay. Can you imagine what this guy is like off camera to these women that he can't stand? He has to be absolutely brutal. Um, Kody says that he believes Jen could have possibly influenced Mary to leave, but he doesn't trash talk Jen anymore because it's verboten. And this is where Janelle takes a hard left to what the fucksville. Apparently, Janelle recalls knowing Jen as their bug lady for a very long time. I remember, what was it, last season or the season before, Jen made the joke that she was a murder for hire or whatever. Janelle says she remembers very clearly that Jen told her that she told Mary to take the money and leave in Las Vegas. Janelle then says it was at this time she ended their professional relationship because for some reason that made her uncomfortable. And then come to find out, Janelle's a snitch. Apparently, she runs right over and tattles to Kody. And again, like I said in the beginning of this live, let's be clear about what was so offensive about what Jen was suggesting. It wasn't, the offensive thing wasn't, Mary, you should really leave these people that don't give a shit about you. Your child is off living their life. Obviously, you can have a relationship with your child. You could have a relationship with any of these other children. She was just saying, Logan texted her for some recipe. You can have a relationship with the kids who want to have a relationship with you, obviously. But you don't need to be present and being punished on the periphery of this family, all while funneling your money. And I honestly, I believe Jen. If she did say something, I think Christina's probably likely right. It's probably an offhanded, sarcastic comment. She didn't seriously like lay out an exit strategy for Mary, which Janelle, didn't Christine come to you in Las Vegas and say she was unhappy with Kody and you told her before she did anything to make sure she had her financial ducks in a row? Why isn't Janelle catching heat for telling Christine to leave? Or why isn't that perceived the same way? It wasn't that Mary wanted to leave or that Mary was told she should leave. It was that Mary was told she should take her money and leave. Because I fully believe that like the family pot did in some ways still benefit Christine and Janelle. And Mary was paying into that, I fully believe, because I don't think anybody equally paid into the family pot. I think everyone paid money. And you can see with Christine, the way Christine acts, you can tell when these women were really trying to earn favor with Kody. I could totally see a scenario in which Mary is just dumping money after money after money in this family pot, thinking, well, I know what Kody loves. Kody loves money. So if I'm giving money, he'll love me too, right? So it was going to be a problem. if Mary took the money and left. Mary says this is a brand new fabrication of Janelle and Cody's. And I'm like struggling. Janelle has told us, I don't like them. I don't want to be around them. Like, miss me with your bullshit, Cody and Robin. I am struggling to see or understand why she is sitting here, like, vouching for them or perpetuating something that Mary says is a lie. Did not happen. This is when Christine says, like, maybe she said it, but it was probably sarcastic. I think that is more likely than not. If it was said, that it was probably under that kind of scenario. Janelle says she knows what she remembers. So it is what it is. But, you know, ultimately she thinks Jen's great. She's great for Mary. C'est la vie. Jen says that in Vegas, she told Janelle that Mary wasn't doing okay and she needed her sister wife support, and nobody came around to support her. Mary had the exact opposite experience of what was sold to her as this is polygamy. You're always going to have people around who have your back. Nobody ever had Mary's back. Maybe she made it very difficult to love her. I could see that. It was astonishing to me when her mom passed away. In a family of 23 people, nobody could go do that drive with her. That was astonishing to me. This is when Jen spilled some tea. She's like, Mary got a legal divorce for the family. And what does Robin do? She framed her marriage certificate because of course she did. Who does that if it's just a paperwork shuffle? And then Jen tries to like clarify things because Janelle had said that she fired her essentially as her bug person. And Jen's like, nah, I never stopped spraying any of the houses. So again, calling Janelle a liar. Mary said that she and Robin could potentially have a conversation and not trigger each other. But the trust that Mary had with Robin dissolved a long time ago. Mary says that Robin wasn't around for her during her dark time. And it's like, because we're about to find out, Robin's a conniving ass bitch. When this is brought up to Robin, she's like, bullshit. I was there for her during her dark time. And Robin just loves finding out from Suki these women's new narratives. Well, if you guys talk to each other, if you all sat on the couch together, then it wouldn't be new information coming from Suki. Now, would it? David's like, can't we all just get along? And it's like, no, David, that's not what keeps a reality show going for 20 seasons. And Cody would just love for Christine to stop pissing him off. Cody, Christine and Mary both feel like Robin ran her mouth to Cody. Like, so both of them have described instances where they confided in Robin. Robin ran and told Cody. Cody didn't think Christine was doing well in plural marriage. And that basically means like performing well. And he's basing that off of just how annoying she was to be around, not what Robin was telling him. So he's saying, Robin wasn't telling me anything new. For example, you guys, Cody said Christine never wanted to eat outside in Vegas because Janelle would inevitably want to come over and, commingle. And that was I mean, God forbid Christine want some alone time or whatever. And I mean, kind of the whole point of the cul-de-sac was to facilitate things like that. So I could see both sides of the argument. But they did make it very clear the setup of Cody's relationships with these women was each woman got a night. So I don't think it was out of line for Christine to be like, Janelle, wait your turn type of thing. I don't know. Christine says there's a difference if Robin's trying to mediate a discussion and she's kind of like refereeing. That's one thing. But she got Christine to open up to her about how Cody was a deadbeat dad. And then she betrayed Christine's trust. And however Robin spins things to Cody, it gets him riled up. There was one moment that I did agree with Cody on. I did think Christine did talk out of both sides of her mouth. If she is talking about the family potentially all getting together, reunions, whatever, we all have to be around each other. Well, what does that look like if you don't want to have anything to do with Robin or Mary? Just like logistically, what does that look like? So I thought that was a fair point for Cody to bring up. And it's like, well, obviously, Cody, she's talking about getting together for filming purposes. And I fully believe that Christine could put on her big girl panties and at least sit on a couch with Mary. Robin, I think it's another story, but I mean, production is gonna have to be a little more heavy-handed with the Browns because while the show is like obviously making the network money, there's other shows that they could showcase. Fans are definitely struggling to put up with the current format. So if they don't make any adjustments, season 21 will likely be it. I cannot see a season 22 in the way the show exists now. Like, what else would there be to film? None of the kids are filming, and that is the only tie that binds. So it's like none of the adults are in business together. Cody's not gonna let these women blame Robin for what was wrong with them. Suki says, Cody, I'm just gonna ask this one more time. Did Robin ever tell you things that were told to her in confidence? And Cody's like, well, yeah, Suki, she had to tell him about the catfishing when your wife is having an affair. And that this is when Cody like ratchets it up to like 100. Cody says that his miserable hag ex-wives have been gone for years, and yet here they are still blaming Robin for them being so miserable. Maybe they should just blame themselves because they're the reason why they're so miserable. Apparently, we learn Mary and Jen tried to have a conversation with Cody in her Vegas kitchen about the catfishing situation and how the catfisher was coming after her, but he didn't want to hear it. And that's really interesting. That's an interesting tidbit considering Robin's friend Kendra vouches for this person that is the catfisher. Cody knows because Robin is telling him things. Like, what's all that about? What did Cody really know about Mary getting blackmailed? by this catfisher. It's a hard no from Robin on understanding any reason why Mary would have to distrust her. Mary has no grounds to distrust Robin. She's always had Mary's back. And all Robin thought Mary was doing was having a conversation online about flowers and texting and music and flirting. So she goes and tells Cody, "Hey, Mary's struggling. You need to go over there and figure this out with her." You guys, this is the exact same story she regurgitated when Christine was leaving Cody. She allegedly tells Cody to go camp out on Christine's couch, refuse to leave. Like, who cares if you're actually harassing these women at this point? But Robin wants us to know she had Mary's freaking back, okay? Robin's an open book and she just never gets any thanks for it. Mary reveals that Robin was leaking information that only she knew. So Mary knew. She only told Robin whatever bit of information, and it was getting back to her catfisher. People were pointing out to me that apparently the catfisher would text Mary like what they knew Mary was wearing and things like that. And Mary was becoming paranoid that this catfisher had like literally bugged her house. Like how would you know these things unless you had like video or a microphone or somewhere in my house? The level of like mind games Robin was complicit in is very disturbing. We get into a brief discussion about Mary and Ron. Suki kind of misses all the context clues that like there really is no relationship launch happening here. They're clearly just friends. Ron's cute, Mary says, but I mean, I think Mary would have hard launched him in Worthy Up merch by now if there was any there. Um we briefly discuss if anyone we cut to Cody and he tries to act like he doesn't know like what this guy's name is that Suki's talking about. So he's like, "What'd you say his name was? Ron? Oh, okay." I was like, because he always has to like make it known how insignificant these women actually are to him. Suki asks, and this is where people were pointing out that this feels like it could be wrapping up the entire series. I don't disagree. This could have been a bow put on it, but I mean, I don't know. Like, they didn't say this was the end. And then we do know that filming has happened. More filming has happened. So I don't know. But Cody Janelle gets this question first, and she says, "Nah, Cody was the one who needed to apologize." And Janelle's certainly not going to apologize for being Mrs. Steal Your Man or anything. But she does say if someone feels like she's wronged them, let her know. She'll consider an apology. Um, Robin says she doesn't have anything she wants to apologize for, so thank you. Christine wants everyone to just move on. Mary has felt heard during this tell-all, and I was like, "Yeah, girl, we are seated and we are listening. You are being heard." And, you know, ultimately it wraps up with Cody. And that was season 20. It's crazy that this show has been on for 20 seasons. The Sister Wives fans are some of the most interesting, I think, viewers in reality TV because people, when shows kind of go off the rails, people jump ship. Like a lot of people have jumped ship on 90 Day Fiance. I jumped ship on 90 Day Fiance. Sister Wives viewers can criticize and defend the show in the same sentence. I find that endlessly fascinating. I cannot tell you guys how many comments in the Facebook group are, "This show needs to end. I'm not going to watch anymore." Whatever iteration of that kind of comment. And it's valid. I mean, this family has broken apart. These kids talk about how actually detrimental this show was to them. And these parents keep signing up to do season after season after season. I will find it very interesting if Janelle does a season 21 because she has literally said that she's not, or she's alluded to that. I mean, she hasn't posted "I quit Sister Wives" or anything, but she has made comments about like leaving the show and things like that. So if the show does come back for a season 21 and Janelle is a part of it, I would love for someone to ask her like, "Girl, what was up with those captions?" What I find even more entertaining. Obviously, I think that these adults, the parents, even though most of the kids are adults now too, but Cody and the wives, the core 5, I think we're just gonna start seeing all of them dip their toes into other reality TV opportunities. I think Dancing with the Stars is gonna come knocking for someone. If Christine will feel real slighted if it's not her. But I would honestly love to see Cody on Dancing with the Stars or maybe Robin. That girl has 2 left feet for sure. But I've told you guys I'm till the wheels fall off with the Browns. And honestly, I'm actually kind of glad the season is over because I find that some of the most interesting discussions that we have on Reality Squad happen when the show's on hiatus. Like when I can really kind of dive more into like certain assets, like more like nitpick apart what someone said and we can like fully flush it out, whatever. I enjoy doing that so much, and I feel like when the season is going, it's like week after week after week, it's like I don't get to fully marinate on each episode, so I'm excited to kind of be able to pick apart things that I've really wanted to kind of touch on more. And, you know, no, I've always told people nobody's a hostage to the content. And I've said, I'm obviously now talking about other topics too on Reality Squad. So it's not just Sister Wives, but obviously it is primarily Sister Wives. But for as long as the Browns want to be in the public eye, they're gonna attract gawkers. And so much of social media influencing and reality TV these days, they kind of go hand in hand, is rage baiting. It gets people talking, it gets people viewing. People watch longer and discuss more when they actually don't like you. That that's just the way of the world as it is right now. Um All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be the last live stream for a little bit at least. I'm considering live streaming unexpected. More I'll keep you updated on that. Matt and I will be coming our next episode of Mostly Harmless will likely be next week because tomorrow night we had a request for us to cover the new episode of 2020 that's coming out tomorrow about the Turpin 13. And Matt and I went back and over the weekend we watched the first House of Horrors episode. So now Matt is fired up to talk about this. So our next episode of Mostly Harmless will be out next week, and it's going to cover both episodes of 2020 that cover the Turpin 13 because there is, oh my God, so much to that story because these kids just couldn't catch a break. Like they get rescued from their parents and then put into another abusive situation. It's unreal. And then, I don't know, Riverside County or wherever they lived, Paris, California, like completely dropped the ball on caring for these people. And they were tying up the money that was donated to help them in like trust litigation. Unreal. So much to talk about with that. All right, you guys, have a great night. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.